Hi guys, Chris here at Purely Outdoors, and today we've got a very new exciting awning model from Telta. So this is the Life model, comes in two different sizes. So we've got the larger of the two on display here. So it's 3.9 meters wide and 2.75 deep. So slightly deeper than the Pure model that we've done a separate review video on, and really catered towards those sort of larger caravans or motorhomes that really want to just maximize on their indoor-outdoor experience really. So it's a lovely continuation of the caravan or motorhome, and we're going to run through the key exterior and interior features. So firstly, I want to start with, for me, the most sort of critical and unique selling point of the Telta awning range, and that is the fabric. So it's the Teltex fabric, a lightweight but breathable touring fabric. So those words we don't really put together very often on these review videos. Normally the downside of your traditional polyester touring fabric is that you don't have that breathability element. So it means at the start of the season or towards the end of the season, you're going to get a lot of condensation build up. But with this fabric, it really does emit that. So it allows that air to pass through. So in the hotter months, it's going to be a lot nicer environment to be in. It's going to let that hot air escape. In the winter, cooler months, it's going to retain that heat. So a very clever fabric, but at the same time, it's very lightweight. So normally you see a breathable fabric on seasonal awnings, whereas this one, you've sort of got the best of both worlds. So a really, really lovely fabric, and one that definitely worth coming down to the showroom, touching and feeling yourself. It does feel really, really premium. So next we're going to run on to the inflation system. So as you can see, this lovely Teltex fabric sits very well and very taut onto this inflation system. So with the Life 390 model that we've got here, it's a single point inflation valve. So it's from this center beam here. So it comes with their manual pump. So it's simply a case of inserting that pump, pumping it to 9 PSI, and then the air will distribute around the awning. So a really clever system, and one that you can get pitched very quickly. So we time pitch in this one. It's around 10 to 12 minutes in total. So again, a great benefit of the Telta awnings. Not only do they look great on site, they're also very quick to get pitched. So we're going to talk about sort of more complexities on the beams and how they isolate as we work through the interior element of the video. But again, we've covered now the fabric and the inflation system. Let's talk about the sort of versatility of the panels. So as you can see, one of the key characteristics of the Life model is you've got this really nice classic sort of feel, but it also feels contemporary with the styling of the window. So you've got this lovely integrated canopy. It's fully air beamed as well. What this does, it acts as a great rain gutter as well. So in those winter wetter months, it's going to let that rain run off really nicely, complemented with the height of the roof. So a really imposing height, so it naturally lets that water run away. And as you can see, when we get into the interior, it makes it feel really nice and airy as well. So let's talk about how we can customize the panels now. So as you can see, you can put in a small doorway on either of the two sides of this front of the awning. So we've opened this doorway in here. You can also do the same here. And because it's one panel, you can actually remove one entirely. You could put a veranda pole in as well and drop it down to half height. You can really tailor the front of the awning to exactly as you like it. And I think that's one of the key benefits to the Telta awning range here. So what we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to take it a step inside the Life model and run through the key interior features. Okay guys, so inside the Life 390 now, and I think the first thing to note is that extra depth that you get on this Life model. So 2.75 meters of depth. And I think the great benefit that it gives you the head height the whole way from the rear of the awning all the way to the front. So if you're someone that wants to maximize on these beautiful window panels at the front, positioning your table and chairs towards the front of the awning, you're not losing any head height. You can fully use every inch of the floor space. So I think that's a really nice benefit of this Life model. And while we're on the sort of window panels, let's talk about them in a bit more detail. So as you can see, really crystal clear. You can really make use of those views on the campsite. But then if you need the privacy, because they're a sort of one-piece curtain design, they're really quick and easy to clip on and off as and when you need them, and it gives you all that privacy. As well as that, when we take these back, you can see that the actual window PVC itself is tinted, so it gives you that anti-glare and a little bit of privacy as well. So a really nice little touch there on the window panel. We'll just tuck this back in now, and then we'll just work around the sort of side panel of this Life model. So as you can see, the window then continues to the side. So normally on these type of models that we see from other sort of awning brands on the market, you get a reduced window panel on the side. But I think the great feature is here, this has been extended, and it not only lets light in from the front of the awning, you're also getting it from both sides as well. So a really nice feature. And as we mentioned in our video on the Pure model from Telta, you've got so much head height on these side panels, so you're not having to stoop down as you enter in and exit in the awning. You've got all that head height, and you've got mesh ventilation on both sides, so you can interchange these panels. You can have the doorway aspect towards the front if you prefer. Really nice versatility from that perspective. And I think as well it's worth mentioning that both panels can be zipped out entirely, as well as the front panel, so then it would create that sort of sun canopy feel as well. Another thing to note, we get asked a lot about in storage, how can I add sort of storage or sleeping aspects to my awning? So great benefit of Telta is they've looked at that traditional annex and they've heightened it. So now you're not getting that enclosed space, you're getting a sort of annex that you can walk straight into. You can use it for storing bikes or anything else that you might have, but then you can clip in the inner tent and it becomes a sleeping space very, very seamlessly. So really nice additional product that is definitely worth checking out alongside your Telta awning. But now we're just going to work our way backwards, and as we mentioned before, ventilation is key in awnings. We know the fabric's breathable, but you've got side ventilation, ventilation at the front, and apex ventilation in the two corners, so you're really getting that airflow in the awning. If that's not enough, you can also purchase the optional mesh panels for both sides as well, so you can simply zip those out. They're universal across the Telta range, so really nice optional extra as well. It's worth checking out. In terms of ceiling to the van then, so we mentioned this again in the Pure video, but we'll touch on it here. It's sort of a two-way approach, so you can use an upright pole, again Telta produced, that you can sit into these top pockets and straight into the ground, and that presses against the foam pad. Also then has pre-punched holes that you can use, sort of a suction device that's on the market to give you that two-way seal there. So a really clever system. And as we mentioned before, it's a twin K-door strip, so great for caravans and motorhomes. So it means that you can connect this to a traditional C-rail on a caravan or into a wind-out awning on a motorhome. And because you've got that multi-height system, any vehicle between 235 and 280, it's going to fit. So a really, really sort of universal product from a caravan or motorhome perspective. And as well, it's worth noticing that multi-height system is also great on uneven pitches. It gives you that little bit of play in the fabric to make sure that you get it really nicely pitched. So I think hopefully guys, that's the interior and exterior summed up. Now I'm just going to jump back out to the front of the awning and just run through the key sort of summary points on this Life 390 model. Okay guys, so in summary, the Life model from Telta, I think it really is that perfect blend of sort of all the modern functionality that you want from an air touring awning in terms of premium breathable fabric, a fantastic single point inflation system, but you've got all of that classic styling that you get from this lovely canopy that really suits those more traditionalists from an awning perspective. So definitely worth checking out further videos. We're going to be doing a top features review with James from Telta, where we talk through each of the key features in a little bit more detail, and another video on the history of the Telta brand and how it's been curated. But I think in summary, this is a fantastic awning model, one that is definitely worth coming to the showroom, checking out in person. But if you've got any other questions on this model or any others in the Telta range, drop them in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching.